A large majority of the programmes played here on Radio England UK2 can be purchased online. Go to the website www.radioenglanduk.co.uk.
Now, from the makers of cold water Omo, there is a public call box in the street outside the Ministry of Missile Redeployment. Into the call box, a char lady, dressed in the traditional clothes, made her way slowly and without fuss. She picked up the phone and dialed a number without reference to the telephone books. In another part of London, a phone rang. A man's hand, well kept, clean, with beautifully manicured nails, stretched out. On the third finger of the hand was a very distinctive ring, a design of entwined hearts. The man picked up the phone.
Bromfield.
Peter, darling. Things are getting a bit hot, I'm afraid.
What do you mean?
They're on to Sir Rodney. The security man's dead. He's confessed.
Then break contact. Throw him to the wolves.
Exactly what I've done.
Good. Better call and see me sometime to work out another plan. Meanwhile, you better shed that char lady image, hadn't you?
The Avengers. John Steed and Emma Peel, The Avengers. Is the wonderful new fabric conditioner that not only softens but actually rinses out hardness. Episode 2 of this story, in which John Steed and Emma Peel realize that the security leak at the Ministry is no game, but the score remains. Love all. Mother knew that there was a security leak at the Missile Redeployment Department. Everyone in the department had been carefully checked and screened, but so far nothing had been discovered. Things came to a head when Metcalf, a security man, had been found dead. Sir Rodney Kellogg, head of the department, had confessed to the killing, claiming that he'd found him going through private papers, and in the subsequent struggle, Sir Rodney's gun had gone off. John Steed wasn't convinced by the story. He was sure Sir Rodney was covering up for someone else. He had Sir Rodney put under house arrest, pending a full inquiry. That night, Sir Rodney paced the floor of his office. He called to the guard at the door.
Oh, guard! I wonder if it would be possible for me to see the personnel file. It's in Mr. Tate's office. Well, Sir Rodney, I don't know. I mean... Oh, now, look here, man. I know you're only doing a job guarding me like this, but I can't be expected to relax. I might as well do a little work, too. Now, come along. Well, I suppose it's all right. Don't see why not. I'll get it for you.
The guard went away, and Sir Rodney continued his pacing. Leaving the door open, the guard returned.
Well, there you are, sir. Oh, thank you very much.
The guard closed the door and said to the other guard on duty,
You know, there's something rotten in the state of Denmark.
That's Shakespeare, isn't it?
Yeah, can you hear? Just before he fights Macduff and goes mad. Can't be any more mad than Sir Rodney. Bonkers, if you ask me.
Had the two guards seen Sir Rodney at that point, they would have been sure of the fact. For Sir Rodney, having searched the personnel file, had found what he was looking for.
Domestic. Here we are. Martha Roberts, 4 Chester Place. Got it. Oh, my beloved. Now I've found your address. Wild horses can't keep you from me now.
So saying, Sir Rodney flung the file down on the desk and, running the length of the room, jumped through the plate glass window. The two guards burst into the room.
Blimey! It went through the window!
20-foot drop. It's got away. Look, there it goes.
Mother's headquarters, white wine was still the order of the day, or night.
Splendid. Use it, Gerald. So, you don't think Sir Rodney killed Nessar, Steed?
I'm certain that he didn't. Look at this.
Steed produced the pearl-handled revolver.
He told me he had a firearms permit.
Yeah, you checked.
Nothing registered in his name.
Then who was he carrying up for?
Whoever gave him the gun, presumably.
Small, pearl handle. Suggest.
A woman?
Yes, but not necessarily. Plenty of men used to carry these in the early 19th century. Not that I hope we have to go back quite that far. Mother? Yes? What? Well, you're a couple of blithering fatheads.
Then tell me, Sir Rodney has escaped?
Right. Jumped through a window 20 feet from the ground. Now, what would make an aged civil servant do that? Madness?
Desperation?
Or love?
Mrs. Peel, I have never known you so incurably romantic or so unhelpful.
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
And I can't help being thirsty. Open another bottle of wine.
Sir Rodney made a clean getaway in his Rolls. He drove straight to number 4, Chester Place, parked outside, ran nimbly up the steps, and rang the doorbell. Some little while later, the door opened. Martha stood in the doorway, but not as the grubby charlady. She looked young and beautiful. She showed no sign of recognizing Sir Rodney. In a cultivated voice, she said,
Yes?
I was looking for Martha Roberts.
Oh, you mean my aunt? She's in the bath. Can I give her a message?
Well, not really. It's personal.
What name shall I say?
Well, just tell her it's, Rodders.
Rodders?
Yes, that's right, Rodders.
She'll know who that is, will she?
Yes, indeed she will.
Right. I'm afraid I can't ask you in because we're in such a mess. Auntie never receives visitors until she's had a chance to tidy up. Just wait, will you?
Oh, of course. Forever, if necessary.
They say there's no fool like an old fool. Here's proof, all right. Inside the house, Martha made another telephone call.
Darling, Martha here. Sir Rodney's got away from the ministry. He's waiting outside. What do I do?
You must go to him. Can't have him blabbing everything. Keep him waiting for 10 minutes, then I'll be over and waiting in the street.
What do I do?
Dress yourself in your child-lady's outfit. Meet him. Get him to drive him to some secluded spot, near the park perhaps.
Yes, and...
Dispose of him. Don't worry, Martha. I shall not be far away.
It has to be done?
It has to be done, but quickly. 10 minutes. Understand?
Steed and Emma Peel were doing a routine check on Sir Rodney's office. The guard was slightly more than crestfallen.
Well, how are we to believe that any one of Sir Rodney's aides would undertake such an escape? I mean, would you like that jump, Mr. Steed?
Not through a closed window.
The point is, why not open it and shin down a drain pipe sooner than take the chance of injuring oneself?
It doesn't make sense.
People in love never do, as I've been trying to tell Mother.
You say he asked for this file.
Oh, that's right. A personnel file. Don't ask me why.
If you knew, it might help.
Well, I didn't see any harm in it. So, I went and fetched it.
You haven't touched anything in here.
Oh, no, Mr. Steed. Not a thing. We've left everything as we found it.
The personnel file closed on the table.
As though flung down hurriedly. He found something he was looking for.
But what? Or whom?
Yeah. If only we knew what sort of personnel he was looking for. All right, guard. I'll put in a good word for you. Night.
Sir Rodney waited in Chester Street for 10 minutes. During that time, a sports car drew up across the road. The hand that steered the wheel had a distinctive ring on one finger. Bromfield had arrived. He watched as the door to number 4 opened. Martha, as a charlady, came out. In her cockney voice, she said,
Oh, Rodders, have they let you go?
Martha, my darling, I escaped.
Escaped? Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
I know, but I just had to see you
You
again.
must go back immediately.
Well, out of the question. Every minute away from you is
I've been looking for you. You don't want to bring me into this, do you?
They'll never find us, my love. We'll disappear together, somewhere far away where we can be safe.
Martha, looking over her shoulder, saw the sports car and said,
All right, Rodney. I'll go with you. Take me wherever you like.
My darling. Oh, made me so happy. You'll never regret this, I promise you.
No, but you might.
Never, I swear it. Come on.
Sir Rodney took Martha by the hand and led her to the rolls. Seconds later, they were purring their way towards the park, followed by the sports car. At a convenient spot, Martha said,
Pull up at the end of this street, please, Roddy.
Yes, but we haven't much time.
Please do as I say, darling. I want to ask you something.
Oh, very well, dearest. Anything you say.
Kiss me, Rodney.
Of course, my love. But don't you...
No, but I want you to make love to me. I want to be sure you do.
Oh, you know I do, my darling.
And you'll never leave me?
Never.
Martha opened her handbag and withdrew another pearl-handled revolver.
Promise?
I promise.
Oh, what a pity.
Minutes later, Martha joined Bromfield in the sports car.
I'm sorry, darling. There's no other way.
Never mind. There are plenty more fish in the sea, all ready for catching. And frying.
People coming, and you want your kitchen to look specially clean, but is everything really clean? Not only where people notice, but in those hard-to-reach cracks and crevices, like around the sink. That's the sort of dirt that's hardest to shift if you don't have Vim 99. Only Vim has deep cleaning bleach to get right down into cracks and deep-set stains, leaving everything really clean and germ-free. For total cleanness you can trust, use Vim. Vim 99, the strong one.
No dirt can stand up to the cleaning power of cold water Omo. Mrs. Whelan had to wash greasy overalls.
Well, I won't worry. I'll stick it into cold water Omo, and sure enough, every bit of grease is out.
Once an Omo user, always an Omo user.
The Avengers. Listen every evening, Monday to Friday, to John Steed and Emma Peel, The Avengers, brought to you by the makers of Cold Water Omo.
A large majority of the programmes played here on Radio England UK2 can be purchased online. Go to the website www.radioenglanduk.co.uk.
Episode 3 of this story, in which John Steed and Emma Peel find themselves incapable of stopping a most dangerous train of events. John Steed and Emma Peel had got off at Norborough Station to help Mark Lucas, a top-secret agent, who was in trouble. They'd missed him at the station, but picked up his briefcase on the train back to London. The contents of the case were extremely interesting. Most of the papers were in code and would take Steed some time to decipher. But there was also a photograph and information on Edward Salt, personal secretary to Admiral Cartney, a bigwig at the Admiralty. Before following through on the death of Bart and making a visit to Chase Holt, Mrs. Peel dropped in at the Admiralty. Her visit had been arranged nicely. She was now a journalist.
Thank you so much, Admiral, for the conducted tour. I really didn't think my readers warranted more than a junior aide.
Yeah, public relations, my dear lady, are most important. You write a good piece for us, and it helps recruitment, and we get a better choice of man. Good job all round, what?
Oh, that is true.
Yes, after all, your women readers want much the same thing as we want in the Admiralty.
Really?
More able-bodied men, what?
A few more questions.
Yes, far away.
What exactly do you do?
Oh, dear, I do wish you hadn't asked that.
But since I have?
Well, I'll tell you, but it does make me sound like a sort of travel agent. Me, who fought 5 major sea battles in the last war. Still, looking at it another way, it is important work.
What is it?
Well, I take care of all the travel arrangements for VIPs, wherever they go, on land or sea. I don't mind the sea bit, but on land.
In other words, if someone important wants to go from A to B, you make sure they're comfortable.
No, more than that. I make sure they're secure, yes. Can't have people popping off half the government, you know. No, I have to make sure all is well and shipshape. Have to check every security arrangement. Oh, yes, which reminds me. Salt.
Yes, sir?
Pop this file back into top secret register.
Yeah, good, sir. By the way, sir, Mrs. Hamilton called.
Yes, I'll speak to her. See Mrs. Peel ashore, will you?
Certainly, sir.
Well, thank you, Admiral, for your cooperation.
Pleasure, my dear, pleasure.
This is Mrs. Peel.
Good day, Admiral.
Hello, you gorgeous little sailor's friend. When are we going to splice the main brace, hey, you beauty? What?
It was later that day that Steed and Emma Peel got themselves to Chase Holt. It was another cold and windy day. The station building was deserted and filled with cobwebs. Old weighing machines and slot machines stood amongst the piles of rubbish. The windows were filthy. There was a general air of decay.
What's the smell?
Old refuse, decaying timetables, funny seaside posters. Look at this. Broken window pane and something that looks suspiciously like a bullet hole. Glass fell inwards, so if it is a bullet hole...
The gun was fired from the platform.
Right.
How did you get on with the notes from the briefcase? Did you manage to decode anything important?
Well, it was a bit diffuse. It appears that Lucas had stumbled onto a plan to pop off a VIP. He couldn't say who or where.
A VIP? Now, that would make a link to friend Salt. His boss takes care of all the travel arrangements for VIPs. Cartney, the amorous admiral.
What was the amorous?
Oh, I can tell by the way he looked. So we don't know who the VIP will be.
Lucas hadn't found out when he drafted the papers.
Did he say who he suspected was going to do the job?
Nothing specific, just some splinter groups, fanatics. He managed to intercept some radio messages.
What was that?
It was as though there's someone or something in the waiting room.
Steed walked swiftly across the platform and kicked in the door.
Hey, what's the idea? What are you doing? You're trespassing. You know that? This is my station.
Your station?
Well, I bought it. Well, I'm negotiating to buy it. Humble beginnings, you know. I have high hopes. One day, maybe, a mainline station.
King's Cross or Waterloo?
Oh, a terminus, yes. That's what I've got to my eye on.
You mean you live here?
Oh, that's right.
Well, isn't it noisy?
Well, does a Phoenician complain of the sound of water?
Oh, I didn't realize it was quite the same thing.
My name is Crew. I live in the signal box down the line.
Do trains ever stop here?
Oh, not for the past 9 years.
Are you always here?
Always.
Were you here last night?
Well, of course.
You sure?
Yes, 100%. Whoa. Why do you ask?
Answer my question.
Well, last night. Yes, I had a phone call from a dealer with an 1892 water cistern. Jubilee commemorative issue. Mint condition.
Now, at the price quoted, it was a giveaway. Absolute giveaway.
Did you get it?
No. When I got there, it was a practical joke. It was a final insult. I missed the last train and had to take a bus. A bus, I asked. Yeah. Express. Get on, son. His name's Watkins. Wilson. Very nice fella. Yeah, I got a good feel for playing to Wilson. Well, it's a pity about old Tate Holt. But then, I'll look after it best I can. Well, I wrote to the Queen, but she didn't answer. I must have got the wrong address. Loco spotters, are you?
Loco? Oh, yes.
Well, why not drop it in the signal box for some refreshment?
Well, some other time.
Oh, well, suit yourself. I must get on now.
As the old man turned away, a long parcel wrapped in sacking crashed to the floor.
Oh, darn it. Practical jokers. Hey, who would I found in the ladies' waiting room?
The old man unwrapped the sacking. Steve and Emma Peel found themselves sitting down at a nameplate, Norborough.
Station nameplate, Norborough.
Is this station identical with Norborough?
Oh, yes. Well, in almost every detail. It's the Scott Simon design. He was the architect, you see. Oh, there's about a couple of dozen of them up and down the country.
Very interesting. Thank you. Oh, 4767. Does that mean anything to you?
Oh, no, I can't say it does. Well, I must be getting along. Bye for now.
You think he's involved?
Very involved. Obsessed is a better word. Plain loco.
A nameplate. The two Norbers for the price of one. Steve, you were saying something about Lucas intercepting some radio messages.
Yes, from their HQ, wherever that is, Lucas couldn't get a fix. As soon as he beamed in on their transmissions, they moved away. Packed up the whole HQ.
Doesn't make sense.
Steve had been wandering about the untidy waiting room. He walked across to a large toolbox, which read, "In case of fog." He opened it.
I don't see how an HQ could be moved all that easily. Well, perhaps Lucas will fill in all the gaps when we find him.
No, I don't think that's possible, Mrs. Peel. Look.
Mrs. Peel moved across and looked into the tool chest.
Lucas?
Yes. Shot. Next to poor Lucas. Maybe this was their headquarters.
The oldest established permanent floating headquarters.
From one derelict railway station to another.
Could be. What now?
Well, first we'll get poor Lucas discreetly moved, and then we'll send Salt to the Admiralty some information. Some homemade information.
If he is the leech, and it almost certainly is, then we'll just see where he takes that information.
Exactly. We'll put some salt on his tail, in fact. Come on.
Later, in the Admiralty, the red scrambler phone rang.
Admiral Carter, RN. Yes, sir. Certainly. Salt? Yes, sir. Sir Rodney. Yes, Sir Rodney. I've got your coded signal in front of me. Periscope photographs. Yes, I like it. Like it very much. Photographs, sir? Thank you. Oh, yes, Sir Rodney. Oh, this is a scrambled call, isn't it? You can't be too careful. Look, the Chief of the General Staff retiring. There's a collection. Oh, tell me, what do you think? 10 shillings, or go mad and give him £1? Huh? Okay, yes. I just wanted to clear it with you. Yes, I've got that. Don't worry. Top security. Well, Salt, action at last. Top secret maneuvers. A planned tour of the enemy's offshore installation. Just stand here.
Hello?
Peel, I think Salt has taken the hook. I tailed him from the Admiralty to the station. He's just about to board the Liverpool train. Now I'm following him.
Does it stop at Norborough?
That's the one.
I'll meet you there.
Right.
Bye.
But also boarding the train for Liverpool were a newly married couple. The girl, slipping her arm through her husband's, suddenly halted.
Hey! Wait, see that man? The one in the front with the bowl and the umbrella? That's him. That's the one Bart went after.
What? You sure? Bart didn't report back, did he?
Missing. Believed dead. We'd better look into this, hadn't we?
More trouble coming up in the rear, Steve.
Take the protection of famous Shield deodorant.
Squeeze it inside a sensational soap, and you've got
the soap deodorant.
Here's a deodorant you simply wash on. Shield soap deodorant. The soap that cleans all over with a rich, luxurious lather. The soap that protects all over with the certainty of Shield.
Complete protection can't start till you're clean all over. That's why Shield have invented the soap deodorant. New Shield soap deodorant.
Once an Omo user, always an Omo user, like Mrs. Bodington.
My wash is beautiful, and I'm very proud of it. There's nothing like cold water Omo.
No dirt can stand up to Omo. Over 1 million housewives have proved it. It cleans best.
The Avengers.
Listen every evening, Monday to Friday, to John Steed and Emma Peel, The Avengers. Brought to you by the makers of Cold Water Omo.
The Avengers.
Listen every evening, Monday to Friday, to John Steed and Emma Peel, The Avengers. Brought to you by the makers of Cold Water Omo. The Avengers. Donald Monat as John Steed and Diane Appleby as Emma Peel is adapted and directed by Dennis Falbig and produced by David Gooden.